I don't have friends. I got family.
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 You can have any brew you want, as long as it's a Corona.
Family.
This just went from Mission Impossible to Mission and freaking Sanity.
The movies.
Vroom, vroom. It's Friday.
I'm
It's break
so
day.
we can start talking.
Sorry, we're not allowed to talk while we're driving.
No, it feels dangerous.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, last week it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it did actually, yeah.
I'm Andrew Jones, and with me, as always, is my family.
Johnny Ellis, hello.
This is Fast Fridays, and we have another member of our family to talk with this week. Please welcome Joe Cunningham to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to get both Fast and Furious.
That's what we're talking about, because we are now on Furious 6. Oh,
Is it Furious 6, or is it Fast 6, or is it Fast and Furious 6, or is it just 6?
The version I watched said
card.
Furious 6.
Yeah, the title card is Furious 6.
Yeah.
And guys, can I drop a name very early on?
I would love you to drop all the names.
So, back when this movie came out was in probably a year to 18-month period where I did quite a lot of red carpets, like covering red carpets for websites. And the best one that I ever did was Furious 6. And it was a press screening on the day. On the day, I went to see Furious 6 and then had to go straight from the screening to Leicester Square to do the interviews on the red carpet. Not all of them went smoothly, but the one that went great was Justin Lin, because I was like, this was hero worship for me, because I'm a big Community fan, and so I got to ask him about Community, and I was a big Fast 5 fan already, so I was talking to him about this, and I was like, the title card is Furious 6, so is it, because that's not on the posters, so is it really Fast 5 and then Furious 6, that's what you were planning? And he was like, yeah, it's Furious 6. So there we go, that's my long name-droppy way of getting to the actual title of this movie in the most confusingly named film franchise of all time.
I was so glad, because I was looking it up on IMDb last night when I was watching it, and it said it was officially called Fast and Furious 6, but it was advertised as Furious 6. And then I was like, I'm sure I just saw the title say just Furious 6. So I got very confused.
And I
Also,
mean, I don't think we can confidently say what the 9th film in the franchise is called until it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding there, because it's been marketed as F9, the Fast Saga, and also Fast and Furious 9. So who knows what it is?
Yeah. Also, when I search Fast and Furious 6 on IMDb, the first thing that comes up is Fast and Furious 6, the game. And the actual film is like the third one down after.
So not a situation in which Vin Diesel has had his whole life turned into some sort of a series of encounters which throw him off balance.
Unfortunately, no. Jeez, IMDb's changed. Sorry, carry on. I'm getting tripped up.
So Furious 6.
Yes.
Definitively.
I'm fairly certain.
Justin Lin back on directing, Chris Morgan back writing. It's the dream team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, is it fair to say this is the victory lap of the culmination of the franchise at that point?
Yeah, the 18-mile-long victory lap on a runway, right?
Well, never-ending runway. After Fast 5's Avengers, this is, I wouldn't say this is Age of Ultron here.
Right, yeah.
And also, crucially, in the kind of Ouroboros that was the Fast franchise up to this point, this is when the snake finally gets to eat its own tail at the end. We finally catch up with the past.
Well, the past catches up with us.
Yes, exactly. I think this is the victory lap, because Fast 5 is, I think, the best Fast and Furious movie as far as I'm concerned. But Furious 6, I think, is my favourite. There's just something wonderfully joyful about all of this. And it also feels like Justin Lin going, okay, so we figured it out. We figured out what this franchise is going to be now. I'm going to hand it over to someone else. It's in safe hands because I've got you here. But before I leave, I'm just going to show you exactly how it's done. This is I've laid out the blueprint, and now I'm going to show you how you can have fun with it each time.
That's fair.
And it's got a great team as well. I think when I think of the Fast teams, the family. Sorry, I think this is the best, most complete version of the family in this one, because Michelle Rodriguez is back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you've got pretty much all of the All Stars are here. I don't know who's really. I don't know who from the franchise I'd say like, oh, I'm really gutted they're not in this one.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is the last time this could all happen as well.
Yeah.
And it had been a while since I'd seen this, and I'd completely forgotten because Han is still in this one.
Yeah, he is.
And I completely forgot. I was thinking about halfway through. I was like, hold on, why was Giselle not in Tokyo Drift? Because him and Giselle are together.
No, because she's dealing with parademons at that point.
Yeah.
Let's get down to brass tacks. As always, I've got my checklist of things for this film. Number of times to use the word family? Anyone guess?
Oh,
10.
I'm gonna go 18.
11 times. There is a sequence in which they use it in 5 times in 1 minute. That's probably the big part of this whole thing. Is they finally use family in a whole segment to mean something.
Is that the sequence where they're talking about Letty and Vin is like, look, sometimes family are still family even if they've forgotten that they're family.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much that.
And that's the kind of scene that like typifies this movie for me, because it's utterly ridiculous. But in that moment as well, I'm like, Dom, he doesn't turn his back on family, even if they've got amnesia and don't forget that they're family anymore. And it kind of is really sweet as well as being absurd.
Yeah, no, that's the point of the franchise. It's inherently earnest. That's why we love it so much. It can be as goofy as possible, but it cares.
Yeah.
Coronas?
Oh yeah. How many Coronas?
Well, I didn't count how many Coronas.
Right,
but
I was gonna say.
At the start of the film, they're drinking out of brown bottles.
Right.
Just regular beer. Finally, after 2 films now, they finally have Corona at the end of this film.
Oh, wow!
It's taken a long time to get back to it.
But they also name check it in there that they're gonna be having some Coronas before they have the Coronas.
Damn right they do. They know where their bread's buttered.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a beer drinker at all, but I did think to myself as I was watching this, when we go see the new one, maybe I'll get us 2 Coronas to drink. And I was like, I'm probably going to hand my Corona over to Andrew.
Oh, great, thank you. I'll have things to say about that in the next film when we talk about proper beer choices.
Okay.
Russell.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen this franchise. I'm forgetting all about it.
We've got bald people.
You're kidding.
Baldness is all over this franchise again.
Yep.
We've got Dom, Hobbs. They're both bald.
Yep.
Roman's bald again. But there's the fake Dominic.
Yes.
And that's another bald guy.
Yeah.
And a big reveal at the end who's very bald as well.
Yep.
I think this is the most bald of the films. And also, again, Tej's hair. Update on Tej's hair. It's very short.
I know.
It's nearly bald. I really
wish they'd bring his old hair back.
I do love the big old afro.
Yeah. Alas.
But anyway, the film.
Good film.
It's a new Universal logo at the start. This is the first time we're seeing the new one in this franchise.
With a new planet?
Well, yeah. They've gone to Riddick's planet for this one. Because it's post 2012. This is it 2012 or 2011 when they had the new? No, it must be 2012 because the last one didn't have it.
Oh, right. Is it
it's
post 2012?
The newer one. It's more closer to the Universal coming towards you at the start.
Oh, right.
I'm going to bow to your wisdom on this one.
It's exciting. It's exciting. And we're opening with a race. Remember last film when it ended up with Dom and Brian, they're like, right, we're not going to race for pink slips. We're not going to race for any money. We're just going to race to see who's the winner.
Well, we think we're opening with the
We're
race.
opening with that race, right? What? No, we're opening with the race. We're by the beach.
Yeah,
we're watching them drive fast. It must be that race. There's nothing else. Nothing else.
He left Mia at the beach.
Mia and Elena.
Mia and Elena, sorry, at the beach, and they were fine. There was nothing going on. There was no water breaking. Well, against the beach, waves are breaking. But there was nothing going on with Mia and Elena, especially nothing going on with Mia. Really,
no, they weren't having any beer. She was specifically not having any beer.
So I don't think we're watching the same race, because where do they end up?
Maybe what's happened is they've had that race and it was a draw, and that they've been drawing time and time again since then. And this is fine. This is finally the one where we can name a winner.
It's either that or it's the eternal race. It's just never stopped. Actually, they just have been in their cars for 8 months. Which, by the way, so we know that Fast 5 is set in. Well, Fast 4 was set in 2006. Fast 5 happens immediately after Fast 4. Fast and Furious, sorry.
Right.
And so now this is 9 months after Fast and Furious.
Okay, yeah.
So we're still in 2006, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
We just have to know this time jump, because we're still always trying to work out in which point Tokyo Drift happens.
Yes.
Within 2006.
Yeah. It's got to still. Well, hopefully it's still 2006.
Was Tokyo Drift actually a Christmas film? Is this the 12 months of Fast and Furious?
Oh my god.
It's January Fast and Furious, and then Tokyo Drift is December.
I don't know, but now I'm adding it to my Christmas film list.
So, anyway, that's just a thought we need to get onto. No, it's not a race. They're going to a hospital. Because Mia's having the baby.
Yeah.
And then we got opening titles. We never have opening titles for these films. Proper opening titles.
Yeah, that was strange. The opening titles go through all the previous films, right?
Yeah, we get to see all the family's adventures.
To remind us.
I think speaks to the victory lap nature of this movie, which
Absolutely.
is it may be a franchise continuing, but I think Justin Lin was like, yeah, I'm signing off here. It's like your signatures over the end credits, which when the Fast franchise ends, right, they're 100% doing that.
They have to.
Yeah,
we will riot if we don't get a Twilight or Avengers style credit sequence at the end. Everyone has to be named. Everyone has to get a signature. Everyone in the family has to get a signature. Even the kid from the first film.
And the kid that's in the bus that we see for the second time, who is, I believe, Justin Lin's son, which we see in Fast 5 and we see in this one, kind of like up against the window. All my information comes from the IMDb trivia. Andrew wrote 9 pages of notes, and I'm cheating.
Well, will he be back in Fast 9? That's the question.
Yeah, well, you gotta hope.
Gotta hope that F9 the Fast Saga will happen. Maybe he'll appear on the moon.
Just looking at a spaceship.
Anyway, we're done with sunny locations. We're in Moscow.
Yeah.
Oh, we are already globetrotting. We've gone to 2 different continents already in this film. And we meet Luke Hobbs and his new partner, Riley.
Oh, played by Gina Carano.
Who? Sorry?
She used to be famous.
Some human named Riley, and there's nothing to look into there.
Yes. Yep.
Do not look behind the curtain.
You know what? It's funny because I know Gina Carano was never the most talented actress, but this is I would say that I think this is a franchise that survives bad performances. Sure. Like there aren't many of the family who I would describe as, really versatile. Some of them have charisma, some of them don't, but they kind of work as a unit.
Yeah.
But watching Gina Carano in this, I was like, am I just bringing the baggage of 2020, 2021 to her performance in thinking that she's rubbish, and she kind of stands out as like just not really fitting with the rest of this ensemble? because like I don't think Elena's great in Fast Five, but she at least feels like she fits with the rest of the gang, and she makes sense as the Rock's partner.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, Carano doesn't, and I think to the film's credit, that was because I'd forgotten the twist with that character. And I think there is something there that she isn't quite a natural fit with the rest of the group. And the fact that she's not a good actress.
I feel like when she doesn't have lines, she looks like she's in kind of standby mode. She's not really taking in what's going on until her lines come up.
I
think
think
that's
It's kind of fair.
Yeah.
But we're seeing the aftermath of a Shaw heist.
Yeah.
Whoa, there's a car in a second-story window. What happened there? We may never know. How does a car get flipped up into a window that high?
Because cars can fly now.
They fly now?
Something that will never happen in this franchise again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But don't worry, they caught someone. They caught one of the crew.
Right.
Who is it? Because it looks like Dom from behind. Oh,
God.
just a thick bald guy in a white shirt.
Another bald guy.
The first of, I think, 3 absurd straw men who were put in front of The Rock for him to humiliate over the course of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just walks right in, smashes him around, throws him into the ceiling.
Yeah. I had questions about this because surely the department would not be happy with him destroying a room. I mean, and he just kind of walks away.
It's Moscow. Anything's fair game in Moscow.
Okay, sure.
And with all that we know about the kind of the conflict between Vin and The Rock on set,
yeah,
it does make me think as well, like this script's writing in a scene where The Rock gets to toss a Vin Diesel lookalike around a room.
Yeah.
You can see where the tension would come, and also like in a film that like and it works because the tension between those characters does have to have this real dick measuring feel to it. But you do wonder, like I said, the first of 3 straw men that The Rock comes up against and just humiliates, who are like, you know, in different capacities put in front of him as like someone who's like, oh God, this guy, you're not going to get anything from me. And then The Rock is like, yeah, but look at the size of my biceps. And and like, you know, it does make me think, like, I remember at the time when all that was kicking off thinking, I mean, look at The Rock's career. He seems ultra professional, goes from franchise to franchise, has success after success. This one franchise is Vin's thing, and maybe he got a bit kind of mardy about The Rock coming in and kind of taking some of his shine.
Yeah.
But actually, just from the content of this movie, I could see why Vin might be a bit like, this guy needs to check himself. This is still ultimately my family.
Yeah.
So we learn Owen Shaw is in London planning something. And they like, how do we stop these guys? If you want to catch wolves, you need wolves. Let's go hunting.
Let's go hunting.
This dialogue is great. It's exciting.
I mean, it's perfect. It really is.
Exactly what it needs to be.
God.
So we cut to Dom and Elena. They're in the Canary Islands. They're, you know, having a nice canoodle.
Oh, canoodle.
And then,
that's what family does.
That's what family do. Together. The family that sleeps together stays together. And then Hobbs decides to stop by and he has a conversation with Dom over an engine.
Of course.
Like an engine between them.
Yeah, that's where all the important conversations happen.
And then he just slips Dom a photo saying, "Hey, look, Letty's here. Letty's alive, guys."
Well, no, he says because Elena comes out and she says, you know, he doesn't have to go with you. You know, you can't extradite him.
That's right.
And then he says, oh well, he's gonna beg me to come with him, so I'm gonna stand outside and wait.
That's the rest of the film. If you didn't know, it was just The Rock standing in a car, looking at his watch, waiting for Vin Diesel to kick him in. It's a very interesting piece of work.
Well, Vin's just trying to open the envelope.
This way, this way, this way, this way, this way.
It's a good setup, though, right? It's like to take what Fast Five did, which was to go, okay, we're going to move from the street racing to it's now a heist, and these guys are like real high stakes criminals.
Yeah.
And then in the next film to go, well, we kind of still want to do that, but like that would feel like maybe it would have a very similar vibe if we did that movie after movie that is just now they're on another heist in another city. So to flip it and go, and actually they're the good guys, but also they've still got that cool criminal edge. It's and it works with the original setup of having the the cop and the criminal teaming up. Like again, it feels like it's the franchise coming full circle. And like Letty is I don't know, like if Michelle Rodriguez wasn't coming back, I don't know what else you put in that envelope to get Dom to come back.
Yeah.
To agree to this.
Yeah.
Well, we know what they do in Fate to get him to do things again.
Yeah, and that is a lot less effective, I think.
I don't know. Maybe they might have had his brother locked up somewhere, and he has to. Not that we've ever heard about his brother yet.
No, I don't think he's got any real family. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, he's been talking about family forever. Why would he not talk about his real family?
And we all know that he remembers everything about my father.
Yes. Oh goodness. What happens next? Because
anyway, so Hobbs wants Dom's in, obviously.
Yeah.
Elena understands if it was her husband, she'd do everything as well.
Yep.
But Hobbs wants Dom to call the family in. But he's like, this is going to have to be me alone. Can't do it. Obviously, Brian, theoretically, he's kind of retired now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but...
What's everyone else doing?
Well, they're all just living off their money, aren't they?
Oh,
I mean...
Roman on a private jet?
Yeah, which has got... What's it got written on the jet?
It's Roman, bitches.
It's Roman, bitches. Yeah.
On the tail.
I do love in this franchise, so driven by star egos, that Tyrese seems completely happy to just leave his at the door.
It's like, there's that sequence in the fifth one in which he first meets Dom, and they kind of have this alpha man stare off. But Vin doesn't seem to be doing that. And Tyrese's entire like, no, I'm also at the same level as you, right? I'm at the same level as you. And then the rest of the whole franchise is like, I'm like Dom, but I'm also like fun Dom. And I think that's the best thing they've ever done with him, is just to admit he's not quite anyone else. He's just there, and he shouldn't be there really. He should be Destruction Derby dirtbagging in Miami still.
And I think by the end of this film, once Letty is back as well, you've kind of got everyone coupled up. That you've got Dom and Letty, you've got Mia and Brian. God, I just forever forgetting the names of the characters. You've got Giselle and Han, and then you've got Roman and Tej, who are who are a little couple in here, and they bicker more than any of the couples outside.
They do, because they know that their love for each other can transcend any kind of jokey argument they might have.
And again, I think it's just something that this film figures out. The Fast Five was on the map to doing it anyway, but that this film is just kind of like, from word go, this is the setup now with all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it's my favourite.
Anyway, Tej is being yelled at for driving a Ferrari and using an ATM to give out money. Why is he not being like a Robin Hood kind of person?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, money's changed him, man.
Yeah, right. So he just presses a button and the ATM explodes. Everyone gets money!
It looks like Monopoly money, though.
It doesn't look like real money, but that might just be, because different countries have different money.
Yeah, maybe.
And only the pound sterling makes any sense.
I think it's Monopoly money, because imagine, that costs quite a lot to buy all the Monopoly boards to get the Monopoly money. So he's still spending quite a bit. And then he just does this prank in every town he goes to. But he drives away before he gets to see the realization on their faces. Some people are still going into shops with the Monopoly money thinking they can use it.
Can you not? Oh boy.
But let's talk about on the plane.
Okay.
When he's got like 4 supermodels with him, and he's taking them to a casino, right?
Take him to McCall.
Yeah, and he says something like, "You're gonna have a lot of fun," and then one of the girls goes, "No, you're gonna have a lot of fun," and it's the worst delivery of a line in this franchise. Was
Wow.
it just me that noticed
That's a
that?
bold statement. No, I didn't notice this.
Oh, it felt so wooden, and I was like,
I will
why
say I
is
was
she the
writing
one
in
that has to say
sentiments.
it? Fair enough. But I was just like, why is she the one that gets to say this? Was she the best one out of the 4 that could say this line? Because, my
He
God.
took 50 takes and that was the best one.
Sorry, moving on. I just had to bring that up.
Thank you. Well, we also see Giselle and Hannah together.
Yep, of course.
They're at a street food market, just eating, chilling out.
Yep, and she's talking about Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
Yep, because he still hasn't made Tokyo. Not yet.
Not quite.
Not quite.
And I think that's very specifically in there to make very clear that has not happened yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because obviously, when Han does go to Tokyo, he dies and he can never be seen from again.
No, there is no justice for Han.
No, that's crazy talk.
But yeah, so people come in with guns and they have guns back at them, and then suddenly a phone rings.
Mm-hmm. And then a phone rings on the plane.
And then a phone rings on Tej.
Yeah, on Tej.
I mean, I don't know. I should be putting it in his pocket, right?
Yeah.
I just love everyone getting the same call at the same time. I just like that kind of setup.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's efficient.
It is.
Storytelling.
It is. It is.
But they all know they've got to go.
Yep. And they all, at the drop of a hat, they're there for family.
They are there for family.
Although
one person we haven't seen yet, of course, is Brian. We need to catch up with Brian properly.
Yep.
Brian and Mia, and what's that? Baby Jack.
Baby Jack.
Baby Jack.
Who is adorable, to be honest. Yeah.
And then Dom drives in and hands Baby Jack a model of a muscle car.
Yeah. But Jack's already got a model of a car.
Yeah.
The car that we know our cars, don't we, Andrew?
Oh, we talk about car stuff. We know the ones that go fast. We know the ones that go slow, and these are both ones that seem to go fast.
Yep.
I think one's fast and one's furious, and he needs to decide his future.
Yeah. Well, the muscle car must be the furious one because it's loud.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I feel sorry for this kid because he's going to grow up to be the most boring, uncharismatic child based on his parents. Like, I've said this already. Like, there are some less charismatic, less gifted actors in the group. What I always find crazy is how much I invest in the unit of the family, given how as individuals, how little I care about them as individuals. And Brian and Mia are right down at the bottom in terms of my investment in them as characters.
Well, you have to remember one of them likes tuna salad sandwiches, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the other one likes to make sure the crusts are cut off for the other one to eat. That's, character work. That's character arc we saw in the first one.
That's how this whole franchise began.
It's built on that. So this kid is going to love cutting off crusts.
No one was as surprised as Jordana Brewster when she got the call to return to this franchise.
She had her bags packed and ready.
Drop of the hat.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, Dom and Brian, they talk about they're missing LA, they miss home.
Yep.
As a concept.
Yep.
Brian gets unretired. Mia's like, you've got to work this one out together. Bring the family together for Letty.
But I'm not going to join in.
No, I've got a chat. She has chat.
Yeah.
And you know what Jack's going to be like when he becomes 10? He becomes Robin Williams. That's a problem.
I mean, it's inevitable Jack is going to be a character in the franchise. They say they're going to end at 10, but they're going to bring it back, and it's going to be Jack. Jack,
like the third Kill Bill, just with Jack instead.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, we're off to London, and for some reason I don't hear the Clash playing.
Oh, I didn't know we were in London.
That's what confused me.
Yeah.
It's like I know some of these locations. I've walked past them, but if I don't hear the music, I just don't get it.
When you walk past them, were they all as close together as they are in this movie?
Yes, but I do walk at a speed of 75 miles an hour, and then I hit the nos.
Yeah. And Piccadilly Circus was as empty as ever.
Yeah. That's the sequence, isn't it? When they go from Horse Guards Parade to Piccadilly Circus, and it's all empty, and they're just having a street race through.
The roads have been a little emptier lately.
True. So this isn't 2006.
No, this is set in 2020. This is during the pandemic.
Oh shit!
And Jack is still not even a year old for some reason.
He's eternal baby. He's like a vampire.
Because they got so much money, they can relax, and time goes slowly for them. Yeah.
They've discovered their cure for wellness. They've got eels up inside them. But yeah, so we're in a high rise, got a fancy view, lots of tech, they've got a bunch of weapons. It's nothing like Rio, they say.
Oh yeah, no, this is much more high tech. And then someone asks who's paying for all this. Is it the taxpayer? Not Tej. It might be Tej. I can't remember.
Not Roman, because as soon as Hobbs comes in, he's doing the baby oil jokes to him.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny gag
stuff. Good stuff. And Hobbs does a debrief about what Shaw is doing. Whilst I wasn't really focusing on that because Roman's doing this thing about wanting to get some change for the vending machine.
That's how he stays rich.
Yeah, he doesn't spend his own money.
This is how I know it's London because at least how I know it's England because in that vending machine is Seabrooks crisps, and you're not getting them in Rio or LA, are you? That's Seabrooks is a proper England thing. Surprised to see them in London, to be honest. But I'll forgive the film that.
I mean, all those wonderful English candies they've got in that vending machine. They don't like 100 grand bars.
Well,
Hobbs gets so annoyed he just shoots the vending machine. I like that idea. I like the idea that you can have carte blanche on a vending machine in the workplace.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many vending machines he gets through if that's how he opens.
Well, he calls them vending machines. He shoots them all the time. Say anger out.
Oh, that's canon now.
Thank you. So, what is Owen Shaw?
What is Owen Shaw?
What is Owen Shaw?
Can I?
What are we sure about?
Owen Shaw is the best villain in the Fast franchise.
Big statement. Big statement. Since we're going to turn to a villain for the Fast franchise as well later in this film.
Yeah.
He's just. I think he makes such an impact in this movie, and it's quite like I think that's why the Statham thing works so well. Which I know I'm jumping ahead, but like when Statham is teased as like that's this guy's brother and it's Jason Statham, like obviously the fact that it's Statham matters, but I think it's like you're like, well, if he's more badass than the guy we just faced off with in this film, then we really do need to be worried.
Sure. Yeah.
I think Owen Shaw is, but I think like Luke Evans. I don't. He's not an actor that like every time he turns up, I'm like, oh, I'm in for a good time here. But I think Luke Evans is great in this, and I think
I genuinely enjoy Luke Evans. I think
he's
always something at the very least.
And he has that lovely little Welsh lilt to his voice here that it kind of gives him that like Anthony Hopkins-esque threatening villain. And he just seems very in control the whole time. And really,
there was an assurity for sure.
Absolutely. And the only thing that really costs him in this movie is like that he is faced with chaos. And he's a good villain. Like when he faced off with Vin, he's like here's your deal is family, my deal is precision, and I don't care about anybody. I just care about being precise and getting the job done, and that's why I'm going to win because I don't care about people, but you do. And I like the flip of that is that that Dom cares so much about people that's the only reason that Shaw doesn't get away at the end.
Yeah.
Because he's not chasing after him trying to get the MacGuffin. He's chasing after him trying to save Mia.
Oh, the MacGuffin, you mean a bunch of computer chips that can create a tech bomb that would technologically blind a country for 24 hours? That could be worth billions.
Yeah, the thing.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
I spent a bunch of time writing it down to make sure I definitely remember what the hell the thing is in this one.
Yeah, that sounds like the thing.
Because if you blind a country for an hour, that could lose a lot of money, and if you can blind a country for 24 hours, right? Could change the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. Anyway, the thing is that the family are offered full pardons if they do the thing.
Do the thing.
If they do the thing to get the thing, and they get to go home.
Yeah.
That's the premise of the film. And
Yeah.
also get Letty.
Yes, also
Boom.
Letty's a thing. And not Dominic, the other one, Brian. Brian needs to find out what happened to Letty. So he kind of goes off, right? Is this part?
Oh, no.
Right, sorry.
We've got to do the. There's a bit of a chase through London first. Interpol have found out from the bald Vin Diesel guy, who's not Vin Diesel, where Shaw's hiding, and so they're all around this. What is this? A building site? Construction thing?
Yeah.
Vague generic construction or like abandoned car park or something. I don't know. Something that you can destroy.
Something that you can destroy conveniently. And so they've got this guy going in to meet up with Owen Shaw, confirming Owen Shaw's there. Interpol are, so I should say.
Yeah.
Interpol are very key to this one segment. Whilst the family are listening in, making sure everything's going fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there a point for them being there? Hanging around whatsoever?
Not really.
I don't know the point of any action sequence in this movie in terms of why it's happening. All I know is that when it starts, I'm happy.
Well, Owen Shaw goes, the simplest things cause the biggest problems. He hands over a bag full of money to the bald guy, saying that's his cut from the last job and the current job. What's going on? What's going on? Well, Interpol start coming in, shooting up Shaw. He gets into this weird ramp car. Let's get into it. There's a ramp car which has full of metal, so the bullets don't even hit him.
Yeah.
Ramp car is great.
Hashtag ramp car.
I love ramp car, and I would like to marry ramp car at some point in the future. And he starts driving away, and there's a detonator or a bomb in the bag.
Yeah, of course.
And that shit blows up, and then every single column that he drives past blows up as Owen Shaw drives past him, so that the whole thing collapses in on itself.
And the timing of that is just like
It's
him
pure
driving through.
Dark Knight Nolan situation here.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's glorious. Yeah. This is what it's about. And then there's a chase through London.
Of course, empty London.
I do want to make sure there is an aerial shot of London, and we do see the IMAX.
Yes.
I miss the IMAX. I'd like to see F9 in the IMAX.
Lovely Waterloo.
And there's a lot of people stood on the streets watching this. I was trying to figure out whether they were extras or just fans coming to see the shoot, but I couldn't figure it out.
Fans of Owen Shaw.
Yeah.
Flash mobs.
Yeah.
So the family get to Interpol because they realise, all the agents are into Interpol. What's happening into Interpol? And suddenly they're getting shot at. Han saves Giselle because she's never going to die. Every film she gets saved by someone.
She's Wonder Woman, right?
That's true. She is also Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Then there's people making an escape. And here we go. Joe Taslim's in this film.
Who's Joe Taslim?
Sub-Zero.
Ah, right.
Come on, bitch.
Sorry.
You've seen The Raid.
Yep. My bad.
So he's in this film. He's getting up a computer chip for a weapon.
Yeah.
But not the computer chip.
Not the computers.
No, they're firing these weird hockey pucks at the family's cars, and they're turning off the computers in the cars. I like this. I mean, there are some other smart car-based excitement going on in later parts of the franchise. Yeah. I like this.
I like I like those little devices. I like and I like how it just wipes out half of the crew straight away.
Roman goes right into a office.
And then I do like that. Even at this point in the franchise, where it doesn't need to be this, that Brian's superpower really is still his driving, and he's the one that's like, oh, okay, I probably need to knock that off, and does that cool maneuver by knocking it off and stays in the fight.
Yeah.
Only to be defeated by the ramp car. But you can see his cogs turning. He's like, if I come up against that ramp car again, I'm going to need a plan of action. And I can only imagine that that's what he spends the rest of the running time thinking about.
They go down a tunnel.
Yeah.
We see a nice double-decker down there.
Yes, with a nice little boy in there. And there's but the EMP things are not as fun as the ones that they use in Too Fast, Too Furious, was it? They were like claws. Guns. Yeah. They were like
so in 2003 they have these claws.
Yeah. And 3 years later it's just a little hockey puck. It's not as exciting. But...
And then a couple of years after that, or maybe a whole decade after that, depending on when Fate is set, it's just, just Cypher.
Imagine Brian trying to dig out one of the claws instead of just like swipe away at the hockey puck. But I digress.
Anyway, Dom sees Letty in one of the cars. That's a big moment. Finally, there's eye-to-eye contact.
Yeah.
And there's also a two-story chase. There's one that is an elevated road, and Hobbs jumps off of a car from that road to land on Shaw's car.
Yeah, which is this amazing move where he's like, flying through the air, lands on the car, and then within seconds, it's like, oh no, jumping off a story onto another car, that's fine, but I can't get hit by a barrier. That would be too much.
Yeah, surely he'd just break through that barrier if he was still. Yeah.
So he rolls onto the ground and does the Nick Fury firing a gun at something flying away at fast speeds.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's got to be done.
Yeah.
And then Dom manages to stop Letty's car. Letty gets out and they kiss.
Well, with a bullet.
A bullet kisses his shoulder.
Oh no! Oh, what happened? I thought Letty was loving Dom, and Dom loved Letty. Something must be up.
That's how family kiss.
They're kissing cousins.
So that's that shit. That's a London race.
Yep. I mean,
now we got flying. Now we got cars flying in the air. Roman screams.
Yep.
I just like the fact that he's the one who calls out the absurdity in this whole.
Yeah,
franchise.
it's just like wait till you see the trailer for Fast 9.
What does it become after Mission and Freak Insanity? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
But Letty is alive. That's all that matters.
Yes, that is all that matters because Letty is family.
Damn right, she's family. And then Shaw does his debrief on them. It's like he's doing the inverse of them, whilst also pointing out that everyone else is the inverse of each other. Isn't that crazy? And he shows Letty a picture of Dom from the past, and them together. Ooh, it's soap opera. It's soap opera.
Yeah.
His team are fairly anonymous.
Yes.
Which is fine. As you say, you've got the raid guy who's in there because he's going to have a fun fight sequence later in the film.
Yep.
You've got the girl
girl with blue eyes because she looks like Paul Walker.
Yeah, and they're fine, but Shaw's the main attraction here.
Oh yeah.
Shaw and Letty.
Yeah.
They're your two. They're the ones
sure he is.
Not you don't care about Ivory. Ivory, anybody? No, we'll get to Ivory in a minute. Because hey, now we've got to break the family up a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Now we're at where I mentioned earlier.
London has not quite. London has cameras on every corner.
Yeah.
Right, but mysteriously the camera's always on downtime and maintenance at those periods.
Just their luck,
But and then we get the family discussing the cars that they were just seen driving. And they do like a Sherlock Holmes things on the engines they heard and the rims and everything to work out, oh, man, these cars, they must have a custom mechanic.
Yep.
Could you imagine? Can you imagine a crime syndicate who might, not just go to a dealership?
Oh god.
And also, they need to have some cars which don't have computer chips now. How are they going to do that?
How indeed.
How indeed. And, meanwhile, Dom takes the bullet out of his shoulder.
Yep.
Just a big man.
Just
taking
another
the bullet out of his
day.
shoulder, so.
Yeah.
I did like that. He's just doing it himself because that's what Dom would do.
Dom doesn't care about anyone else looking after him. He doesn't need a Mia anymore.
And it never impairs him for the rest of the film.
No, absolutely not. No, gosh forbid.
Might as well not have happened.
Yeah. Well,
you
you
get
can see the bullet is tiny.
It is a tiny bullet. It's almost like it's a custom bullet as well.
Yeah.
So Tej and Hobbs are going to go to a car event.
Yep.
Just near City Hall. Is this a thing that happens? Do we ever see that in the Embankment? Rich people car events?
I mean, it's always happening, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not a rich person, not a car enthusiast.
You know all about cars.
Such a weird sequence.
Yeah.
And is it just me, or was the car salesman? That should be Tom Hollander.
That absolutely should be a Tom Hollander type.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like this guy is a Tom Hollander type.
But like a notable actor in that role.
But what I mean is, I feel like this is a Tom Hollander type who's maybe got 2 zeros less on his quote than Tom Hollander.
Sure. Sorry, no, he was not in this scene.
And it's just a real, he's just the hoity-toity, cliched, middle upper class British guy. Well, no, he's not even. He's a middle class guy who's playing at being
who's living in a rich person's world.
Yeah. And it's the pretty woman scene, isn't it? It's very.
You're clearly not ballers, guys. Wink, 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 wink. HBO, maybe in a couple of years' time. So you must be the kitchen stuff.
It's a scene generously laced with racism.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's what we like.
It's solely for an applause break in 10 minutes' time.
And of course, this is the second of the straw men that The Rock is up against. Although I guess Tej takes the lead here.
Oh, this is entirely a Tej sequence.
Oh yeah.
Dwayne's just here.
He's got this. He's got this.
He's got this. We notice. And then meanwhile, we get to see the guy from Keep the Lights On playing a mechanic, making a grappling hook.
Well, yeah, I mean, from a distance, he reminds me of, and I don't know if you'll know him, Mark Warren. Anybody? No? All I know him from is he was in the Doctor Who episode Love and Monsters with Peter Kay.
I've just googled him. The hustle guy who's in Wanted.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see the face. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So at first I thought it was him. So if the other guy is a cheap Tom Holland, this is a cheap Mark Warren.
Linda
already is a cheap Mark Warren, I was saying.
He must have been very cheap.
But anyway, yeah.
So they managed to quickly find this guy making a grappling hook.
Yep.
That's normal behaviour. They just find him in one of those underpasses.
Yeah.
And then Giselle does that thing where he's like, this is a girl's job again.
And
it's a weird sequence as well, where and this is what I mean about Gina Carano not really feeling like she fits in with the group.
Yeah.
It's Giselle's like, this is a girl's job, and you're like, have you guys spoken yet? Do you know who she is? And I'm happy sending Giselle down to do this job, but maybe you hang back with Han as well.
Yeah. Maybe Roman, as the fast talker, might be able to get more out of the situation than just, grabbing someone's arm, twisting it until they drop on the ground.
Roman would have got a grappling hook in the chest if he'd have gone down there. I have no doubt about that.
But it would have charmed the grappling hook onto his chest lovingly.
Potentially.
Anyway, they go into the mechanic's workshop. He presses a button on the phone so that Shaw can overhear what's going on. Question mark?
That's the high tech we're dealing with.
Oh yeah.
It's 2006. Phones in general were quite high tech. So Shaw is now aware there's something going on in his mechanic's old workshop.
Yeah.
Yep. Tej and Hobbs, they come back with the HQ with very loud muscle cars.
Well, how'd they get those?
Oh, right. Well, they weren't just going to steal it, were they?
No, God forbid.
No.
Because
Tej used his money.
He wasn't allowed to steal them.
It's true. It was true. He wasn't allowed to steal. He had to think of a better way, which is,
Yeah.
pound bills, yo. Doesn't ring off the tongue, say. But the Englishman is so tempted. Sorry, if I can do anything else for you.
So they ask for his shirt.
Take the shirt off his back so it can put onto Hobbs.
And we don't get to see Hobbs put it on. That's
No.
what I would love to see.
No. And his pants, but not his
Put
pants.
Put him on just like the Hulk, you know? And he
Just
is
rip it through.
and he's called the Hulk at one point in this film.
Sure.
He's also called Samoan Thor on is it Tej's phone when he rings? There's a lot of Avengers references in this film.
Hey, look, the Avengers had just come. No, the Avengers were not even coming out yet.
Yeah, it's 6 years away.
True. They were excited about the concept because they just seen Ang Lee's Hulk.
No, they're all just big comic book fans.
They are just nerds.
Oh yeah, it's like when Tim Roth mentions the Silver Surfer, mentions the Thing in Reservoir Dogs, and he's got the Silver Surfer poster on his wall, but like no one, non-comic book people didn't really know who they were.
Yeah,
it's just Fast and Furious is ahead of its time. Clearly, I mean, look at the tech. It's 2006, for God's sake.
Tej was watching and he got it.
Yeah.
Speaking of watching, Tej gets the watch from the guy's wrist as well.
Yep.
He needs something for himself. He can't just give everything to Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, how's that? He's in his underwear walking away now, this rich guy. Ha 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 ha. Racism solved.
Not the finest sequence in this movie for me.
I remember at Multimedia that got an applause break. They might as well just pause the film, the DCP at that point, just to let the audience clap.
I'm sure off screen,
Sure.
Tom Hollander was bowing.
I could have done that job, but I was masturbating all day. That's funny if you read that interview with him during the pandemic when it's like, yeah, I masturbate and then I go back to bed and then I masturbate and then I go back to bed.
Yeah.
He's living our best life. Anyway, hey, there's a pawn shop sequence. What's this about?
Yep, they're trying to find
Dom
the
and
gun.
Brian go to a pawn shop to look for the bullet and the gun.
Yep, and it's not CX.
It's not CX. It's just a random pawn shop. There's three guys get beaten up.
Yep, of course.
I don't understand why this one's here. This just seems to be like, hey, Vin needs to punch three people.
Yeah, well, he's got to keep the tally up.
Yeah, it's true. I think it might just be a tally situation, actually.
Why didn't one of them look like the Rock, though?
I genuinely can't remember this scene.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. He beats three guys up. He grabs the pawn shop guy through under the window. And then Brian and leaves with Dom and goes like, cheerio or something. And that's it. It matters not anything. It's just like, yeah, they bought guns here. The guns that shot you, yeah, they were bought here. Wow. Have you got a receipt? Anyway, the mechanics. Now Letty's at the mechanics.
Yeah.
And so is Joe Taslim. And this is where Ivory gets shot. Poor Ivory. He's on a motorbike. And he gets shot.
A moment of silence for Ivory.
Ivory, the most important character.
Yep.
The mechanic gets shot. He hands Giselle a phone.
Yep.
And then they go through a train station. Here comes Waterloo fights.
I don't know what this station is, but there is that fake train station, isn't there? That a lot of movies end up filming in.
Yeah.
That it looks recognizably like the Underground if you know the Underground.
Yeah.
If you know it well enough, you know it's not an actual station or it's not a current station.
The station might not be real, but that train is. I'm pretty sure I've been on that train before. That silver, bland-looking train, underground train, like all the underground trains that we use.
So it's Aldwych Station. Is the one that they
Right.
originally known as Strand Station. That's the filming location they usually
There
go
we
to.
go.
But it's referred to as Waterloo later on.
Yeah, because this is Fast and Furious' Battle of Waterloo. They're rewriting history, damn it.
They are. This is the Mamma Mia sequence.
This is all good. So you get your. I like the reverse here, that you've got the guys fighting, and it's basically just a bit of a comedy routine of Roman and Han being like, no, after you be the next one to get punched by this super competent fighter, and then cutting back to the proper fight between Michelle Rodriguez and Gina Carano, because that does feel like that feels like the most exciting face-off that you could, like when you're waiting in Fast 5 for The Rock and Vin Diesel to finally have a scrap.
Yeah.
In this one, I think it's those two. I think they're the two that you want to see fight, and it's good. But this is only Act 1, which is even more satisfying.
And after Roman and Han's fight, they get like smashed through glass and whatnot, and the police are there.
Yep.
And the police are like, there's at least one policeman standing up, and he seems fine, but he doesn't like even acknowledge Roman and Han.
Well, that's because they agree to never tell anyone, so they can't even tell the police people who have just seen it. The police just don't know it exists. Maybe they don't even exist. They're male 23ers.
It bugged me slightly that like no policeman was like, "Hold on, mate, I need a statement." Like,
oh yeah, the statement is this went from mission insanity to mission in freaking indifferent. I don't know. I'm not a Roman. I can't do one of Roman Pierce's classic lines. So Letty finally goes to Owen, tells him that Ivory's dead. By the way, this is the scene where she tells.
We all remember
the tragic news of Ivory's demise.
Yeah,
and in a heartbreaking moment to the audience, Shaw just goes, "You make a mistake, you pay the price."
Because he's a good villain. He's a good villain.
No care that Ivory's.
He doesn't care about his family.
It's a shame.
I think he actually says family schmamily.
That is what this film was missing. Oh, if only. So where are we now then?
Well, now we reveal that Braga was working with Shaw at some point.
Ah, right. Well, now
this is
Braga.
Giselle kind of knows about this stuff because she used to work for Braga as well.
Yeah,
and this is all victory lap stuff again, because this movie is 130 minutes. It could easily be 115 minutes and just get rid of this stuff entirely. It's completely pointless, but it means Braga gets to come back. It means we get a fun scene with Shea Wiggum, and it just feels like Justin Lin going, "Can we get those guys a paycheck? Can we hang out with our friends for another couple of days on set? Would that be nice?"
Yeah, so Brian's got to go to Los Angeles, which is a problem.
Oh, here we go.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah. How much later is this now?
This is like 40 minutes after you started.
I watched this film this morning. And I couldn't even remember the pawn shop scene either.
And like this has such a feel of Thor going to the pool to get the information about the Infinity Stones in Age of Ultron.
Absolutely.
Like it's like, what do we have for Brian to do in the middle act? Nothing really, because it's kind of, we want Dom to spend time with Letty. We want this and it like
Roman's got Cage now.
This stretch of the movie really does feel like they're just kicking their heels, going, let's just get to the next action sequence, shall we? Brian, you go over there, and we'll give you a fight scene in jail.
Yeah. There is a sequence in which the cameras go dark, and Braga comes by. Oh, he's got 24 hours before he gets into his system. Will recognise Brian's face, and then he'll be permanently jailed.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Braga's in solitary. Shea can't get him into solitary, so he can only get him into a certain wing. So he beats up Shea Wiggum again.
That's the one funny moment in this sequence, because then it's the purpose of it is to have someone go, I know it seems silly, but this is why Letty's not actually dead.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to having the exact same sequence with Han. And to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to in Fast 10 or beyond that having the exact same sequence with
11.
Giselle because they just characters don't die in this. And and I was watching the post-credit sequence in this a bit more carefully this time, going, how are they getting? Oh no, I guess they can get around that fairly easily, can't they?
Sit down handhole.
Yeah. Honestly, if he doesn't slip down a handhole, they've missed a trick.
Absolutely.
All of this is dumb.
I remember nothing from the prison thing. I think even while I was watching it, my brain just didn't register it until he comes back to London, and I was like, oh, he did the prison. Did he get the? Yep, he got the information. Okay.
Yeah. So Braga's just kind of monologuing for a while about how he did things for Shaw, ran money and weapons. Probably through those tunnels we saw. Remember those tunnels?
Oh yeah.
And Owen has everyone in his pocket. He knew Letty was in Braga's gang pretty quickly. So we get to see Phoenix again. Remember Phoenix?
Buchanan from Paddington 2.
Yeah, Phoenix Buchanan, Hugh Grant. They couldn't get Tom Hollander, but they got Hugh Grant. So instead of aiming at Letty when she's on the ground of the crash, as we assumed, boom, he shoots the car and it explodes and she goes flying into a ravine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she gets into hospital, and so Owen Shaw's coming to the hospital to finish the job. He's whistling as he does it. And she's got amnesia, so instead of that, he recruits her, and that's the thing. The only way you get close to Owen Shaw is if he wants you to.
Yeah.
Remember that.
It's a good, smart little screenwriting trick as well to go. Do you remember one of the villains from one of the other movies who you thought was quite scary? Well, this guy is like, he's literally going to tell you
I
about
have
how
been
good
the author
the
of
new
all
villain
your
is.
pain.
It's the Saw trick. While this was going on, he was in the other room. What?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and we have to go to CCTV HQ in London, by the way.
Oh yeah.
For the third straw man.
Just so that so that Hobbs can go, hey, why are all the cameras down in Waterloo at that convenient time? He just gives a handshake to this chubby guy until the hand starts to hurt.
But the guy who, when The Rock walks into the room, he goes, you're in London, Mr. Captain America. You can't get what you want in London.
So we've had Thor, Hulk, and Captain America.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? And then, but it's again just this ridiculous, like, as if anyone would ever act like that with The Rock coming into a room. But it means that The Rock gets that moment where he gets to put him in the vice-like grip and be like, you're big, but I'm bigger.
Yeah, Rampage.
That's where they got the idea.
That's where they got the tagline.
No,
finally gets the access.
That's where they got the log line for the entire movie.
So Tej gets the cameras of London set up so he can see everything. Isn't that fun? That's going to be important. Yes.
Yeah.
And we see that he's been making his own custom grappling hook, which Roman shoots almost at Dom.
Yes.
Again.
Oh
funny.
Boy, he is dangerous.
Funny.
And Han just goes, hey, there's a street race, guys. There's a street race happening in London. Maybe Letty's going to be there, ...
Maybe.
And then, hey, here's a street race. Here's some dancing women in very short skirts, which makes you question the weather of London at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone through endless winter for the last, I'd say, 12 months.
Yep.
I don't remember London being this warm enough to wear anything like this.
But
this was 2006. Maybe it was different.
Yeah. And in 2006 was Rita Ora a thing? Because she is here. Because she's a singer. I knew you wouldn't know. Rita Ora is the girl that starts the race off.
Oh, the Welcome to London.
Yeah.
Now we're going to race.
Rita Ora is the person who I never realise is Rita Ora until after I've seen the movie and someone mentions. The same thing happened with Detective Pikachu. I did not know that was her.
See, yeah, I looked it up on IMDb.
She played Mewtwo, right?
She does share the screen with him.
I looked it up to check because I was like, it looks like someone, but I can't remember the name, and I couldn't find any like singer name on the cast list. And then I think I spotted it on Wikipedia. I was like, oh, I was right.
This is also the one gratuitous scene that Justin Lin does per movie of going, okay, I know it's a Fast and Furious movie. Here are some cars with lights flashing and bottoms jiggling. Are you happy?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. There was, and
Here's
I
a full
remember,
trailer.
I remember finding it really egregious in the fourth in Fast and Furious, and that film I think hasn't found the balance yet and has a bit too much of that nonsense. Whereas, this it is like, yeah, there you go, and look, oh, it's Rita Ora as well. Should we have a cool race? Here's a cool race.
But yeah, you know, Fast Five transcended that by doing the hey, we're going to set up to a cool race and then cut straight to the aftermath of them coming back with the car they've already won.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is fun. But this is a very important race because this is Dom versus Letty through the streets of London.
And it's not a
Which I
race,
believe
is
is
it? It's a sex scene. This is the movie's sex scene. They are making love through the medium of race.
Ride or die, remember?
And she,
Exactly.
and improbably she kind of does.
Yes.
She doesn't. She kind of does.
But she again she does the thing which she always does, which is she hits the nozzle a little too early.
Yeah.
Oh, Letty.
Yeah, you've got to just hold it in a little bit longer until you can both hit the nozzle at the same time. That's pure racing.
Yeah.
But show me how you drive. I'll show you who you are.
Forgot about that line. Oh.
So drive around London. Geographically accurate?
Of course, like everything in this film. Moving on.
we see Piccadilly Circus. We have a nice shot of statue of Eros.
Yep.
I mean, we don't see any cats dancing on it, so I'm guessing that's a thumbs down for you.
Yeah.
Go down the A Market. We love going down the A Market. And then we end up in Battersea.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, they drive the cars.
Yep, they drive the cars.
They drive the cars. They get out the cars. They have a conversation about cars.
It really does make you think, doesn't it? When you watch a big movie like this set in London, you see how ridiculous it is. You must think New Yorkers must just be furious all the time.
Absolutely.
Every other major city in the world, this must happen to, and we just never notice it.
Yeah.
I listen to a podcast, We Hate Movies, and almost anytime there's a New York-based film, they will complain about the subway they get off on or which road they've taken down, and it's just the most infuriating thing to listen to. So
there's Stephen King writes in his foreword for I think it's maybe the second Dark Tower book, about how he's like, look, I know I've taken some liberties in this book with the geography of New York, but some stuff just works better if I fudge it a little bit, so please forgive me. Please, even years before Twitter even existed, don't send tweets.
Anyway, Dom shows Letty the roadmap of her scars and how the memories of that were for him. He was there for everyone she's got.
All this foreplay.
Like it or not, you're still the same girl.
Yeah.
Still family.
He gives her the necklace. She drives off, and boom. As soon as she drives off, Owen Shaw pulls up.
Yeah.
Round two.
He's
Let's do the roadmap for his scars. So Owen mentions, hey, you started out stealing DVD players in LA. End up stealing $100 million in Rio. You just summing up the franchise.
Yeah.
You just brought me in here to remind everyone the franchise.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
I'm glad we got a bit grounded.
Yes, and also he actually mentions his own brother.
Yes.
Could you imagine one of the main characters mentioning their own brother in this film franchise?
Crazy.
He said his brother said every man needs to have his code, and Nom is loyal to a fault to his family.
This is both Shaw's brother and Chekhov's brother.
This would have been the perfect time for Dom to go, oh, speaking of brothers.
Yeah, my brother used to say, you can't see me, I'm invisible. I did the hand thing over my face. It doesn't work on an audio medium. But I was pretending I can't see. And for a moment, it felt good.
Yeah.
They have snipers trained on each other. That's a fun moment. They both have someone in their corner.
Yeah.
One of them being Hobbs. Because he's family now for a period of time.
Yeah, goddamn right, yes.
Do you treat The Rock as family? when you're watching these movies.
We do
I
for the
think-
period of time he hangs out with. It's very important in Fast Five. He was family for a period of time after the massacre and before the safe cracking.
Mm.
He's got a 20-minute window in that film which he's family, and most of this film he's family.
Yeah.
And of course in Furious 7 he's family entirely.
Oh yeah.
What was
Maybe
he in
gets
Hobbs
good.
and Shaw?
In Hobbs and Shaw he's presented.
He's adopted.
Sure.
Even gets to go to the barbecue this time.
It's true. Doesn't stay there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Letty's looking over the picture again, now with the necklace.
Yeah.
Shaw asks if Letty is given the order to kill Dom. Will she do it? She
Apparently
doesn't
so.
say yes, she doesn't say no.
Oh. Yeah.
Shaw takes the necklace. That's the important thing,
Yeah.
I guess. Then blah 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 blah. We find out Riley thinks she knows where Shaw might be. They've lost Shaw again. They go to a warehouse. It's empty except for drops of paint. What kind of paint?
Camouflage paint.
Yeah, military special. There's a NATO base in Spain. ... I guess.
How do they find the paint if it's camouflage paint?
Anyway, we know we've got to go to Spain.
Yes.
That's important because everyone's packing up, and just as Brian comes back.
Yeah. Right. Brian's back.
Brian's back.
Yep.
And Dom was going to wait for him anyway. So
Yep.
they all leave, and Brian says, it's all my fault. It's all my fault for Letty. Letty's my fault.
And Dom says, I don't care, let's go.
Yeah, I don't care. We've got to go to NATO.
Your whole scene was pointless. Let's move on.
No one cares about this. Let's just move on to an action sequence, he says.
Fargo who? Oh, that was last time.
That was 2 times ago.
Yeah.
You beat us last time.
God, yeah.
Anyway, Riley finds a mole in NATO. Isn't that convenient? He was helping Shaw do things. Wait a second. It was a diversion.
What?
Because Brian thinks something's up. They wouldn't let the Shaw get that close.
I can't believe how convoluted this plot is.
Insanely unnecessary. Because there's a convoy. There's a big armored truck on a huge highway in Spain.
He's saying we've got a very big convoy.
It's
Walking
roughing
through
through
the
the town. Yeah, okay, fine. Anyway, so Shaw's crew hijack this convoy.
Yeah.
And the family throw some grappling hooks around. We finally get to use the grappling hooks for the first proper time.
Oh, yeah.
And they crash the truck, but what happens?
Goddamn tank happens.
They got a tank.
Yeah.
I think this is the least successful action sequence in this movie.
This should be the best thing.
This is going to be the final action sequence.
It's the only one that feels like I've seen a version of it better, like in movies before and after this, I think. And it's not often I say that about Justin Lin action sequences. It just doesn't feel like it's got enough personality on its own. It feels like it's the tank is resting on the laurels waiting for the tank to arrive.
Yeah.
Well, according to the Fast and Furious 6 trivia page on IMDb, this was going to be the end of the film, this whole sequence. And then the next film was going to have the plane part. It was going to lead up to...
it's going to be a Desolation of Smaug Battle of Five Armies.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That was the original plan, apparently.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Could you
They
imagine
saved
another
it.
Luke Evans not quite ending and then starting up again franchise?
Yeah, exactly. Thank God.
So the tank starts crashing into civilians. Letty's not really happy about that part.
People are getting squashed, like proper killed.
Not really, because one guy jumps out of his car and rolls away just before it crashes, so we know that's how everyone's doing it.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
So, okay, right. My bad.
It's a safe crashing through the buildings. It's the bus getting flipped over at the start of Fast 5. There's no casualties. Don't worry. Roman's getting his car crushed underneath the tank.
Yeah.
After grappling it onto it. And he jumps from that car just as it's about to crash onto Brian's car.
Yeah. It's a lot of car jumping.
There's a lot of car jumping because then Roman's car being grappled, being dragged underneath the tank, falls off the side of the highway onto the, just dangling down until it hits the column.
They just have a little mini game of trying to trying to hit the car over the bridge. It's quite fun, to be honest.
And Letty's been sent out to get rid of the grappling hook as the as Roman's car hits one of the columns on the bridge underneath, and then the tank goes up.
Yeah.
Letty flies. Dom jumps in midair to grab her.
So stupid. They're jumping in opposite directions. They should stop each other and just fall to the middle.
Yeah, they should fall through the divider.
But he's
think
so big and strong that he pushes her forwards.
Pushes her onto her windshield.
Am I right in remembering that this was the big trailer moment?
Yes. I seem to recall
Yeah,
that.
I knew that coming in, but it's still it's a great moment. It's a okay, this is happening moment.
So ridiculous. But at least he knew that there was a car to land on, right?
We'll get to that. All we know now is, hey, Owen Shaw's caught.
Yep.
They caught him. The tank had a computer chip. That's what he wanted.
And credits.
And wait, what? Letty is with Dom, unsure. Wonders if Dom even knew they would fall safely. He went on for faith.
Oh.
The family welcomed Letty back. She's okay to be back now, even though she doesn't remember anyone. She knows.
Yeah.
Brian tries to apologise, putting her in danger. Letty says that, look, she for what she remembers about herself, based on how everyone's talking about, she would never let anyone else do anything. She has agency. She's her own character.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. I like it.
I can't believe we're not even at the final act yet.
We are at the final act because.
Well, yeah, just about.
Look, okay, right. Han and Giselle, they're sitting there. They've done their mission. They're contemplating the next step. Maybe they're going to settle down. Maybe Tokyo.
That was an idea.
And then,
2006, they are at the forefront of technology.
And then Hobbs comes in and goes, "Hey, you've got to hear this. Shaw's got something funny to say." And then we reveal that Elena, Jack, and Mia have been chased by some gunmen, and Elena and Jack got away, but Mia's been captured.
Oh.
Hobbs tells the family that if Shaw walks out the building, so do the words pardon and freedom.
Oh.
They haven't been part of our lives since I was a child. The Shaw and his crew are set free, right?
Yep.
And then Shaw turns around and says, "Babe, are you coming?" To Letty, right? Babe.
No.
Babe. Wait, what?
No, because Gina Carano's there, and someone's spoken to her, so she's activated. So she says her line.
Riley.
I can't tell you how differently all of this plays on a rewatch compared to the first watch in the cinema. So on the first watch in the cinema, I was like, "Oh, okay, and they're doing that, and they're doing that, and what? Twist!" Whereas this time, I'm like, "Runway, get to the runway. Why are we not on the runway? Runway, can we get on the runway?"
So she was the mole all along.
Oh.
They all escape. Tej immediately jams the signal, so Shaw's like, I'm trying to call to get Mia killed. She's no use to us anymore. But he can't make the call, so the family are chasing Shaw's cars on a runway. And a plane lands. Is it a plane?
It's like it's a massive like car transporting plane. It's a freight plane.
Not to Roman. To Roman, that ain't a plane. That's a planet.
Why does it say Universal coming around here?
It's the new planet. So the ramp comes down. They all drive on the plane. Dom, Brian, Letty get on there with them. And there's Mia. She's on the plane. That's convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Does everyone agree that this whole sequence is a masterpiece?
Oh yeah.
This is just like action sequence crack to me. So like I think Justin Lin is one of the best action filmmakers working in Hollywood. And like this is the scene that I would point to because as much as I love Fast 5 and I love I love the train sequence in Fast the train sequence in Fast 5 when I was like, "Oh, hello, right, okay, I'm paying attention now. What's going on?" After kind of having been a little bit, I'd been maybe like most people, my interest in this franchise had been waning. Yeah. But this sequence, I just think that like you really can't underestimate the importance of geography and understanding geography in an action sequence. And like, yes, it might feel like a bit of a cheat to go, it's a runway and it's however many miles long that it unreasonably needs to be. But like, you've got the plane in the middle, you know where the people are on the plane, you're able to have hand-to-hand combat on the plane whilst knowing exactly where Han and Giselle are in their car, exactly where Roman and Tej are, and you just like as you're hopping between these different moments on this endless runway, you always know exactly where everyone is in relation to each other.
And you know the stakes.
And you know the stakes, yeah.
Because there's death, there's general world domination problems at the same time, and there's family.
And there's family. There's family.
18 miles, just so you know, according to the IMDb trivia. This is all I have to contribute. It's the IMDb trivia.
Mean, that's enough time to get our planet to take off again.
Yeah.
But it's being weighed down.
Yeah.
Because, they had more people jump on the plane than they expected. They had half a family.
Yeah. It's now a heavy family.
So we get Letty versus Riley, round 2.
Yeah.
Great. Loved it.
We get Tom and Brian chasing Shaw, who's chasing Mia.
Yeah.
Hobbs jumps onto the landing thing and climbs into the plane. There's a team muscle. The big guy.
Yeah.
He's there.
I interviewed him on the red carpet. Lovely.
Cool.
Absolutely delightful fella. Kim Cold, his name is.
Kim what?
Kim Cold.
Kim Cold. That sounds like a superhero name or a wrestler name.
Justin Lin brought him back for Star Trek Beyond.
Wow.
Good. Cool. Who'd he play in that?
I don't know her name.
You don't know. Reckon he was one of Idris's boys?
Zavanko. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he was Khan.
Great film.
I love on the plane how they kind of like pass off the fights between each other and kind of like it does have this within the plane have this very small scale version of the Battle of New York to it, where you like I said, you know the geography and you know who's fighting who at any one time, and yet like suddenly someone will see that like, oh, another member of the family is getting bested in their version of the fight. I'm going to jump over there for a second, and then
it's like guy through a wall.
I'm going to headbutt this guy through a wall. I'm going to do a flying headbutt off of these crates into this unit of a guy. There's so much like it's.
I'll pull this guy's leg so that the Rock can hit him with his fist.
That moment's great. But again, it's the mirror of the tone of the franchise of, and Lynn really hit up on this with the Rock Vin fight in Fast 5, and I think this is what he's channeling here, which is the tone of this franchise is earnest, but really knows how to have fun. And it's the same with the action, and this is why I think this action's so good, because like amidst all of the stakes, there are laughs in the action. There are like laugh beats. There are comedy beats to the action. Like you're not doing a flying headbutt because you think that is purely cool. Vin Diesel flying headbutting someone is inherently funny, and I think Justin Lin knows that. And you get kiss off lines. You get Letty give it wrong side bitch. Like they all get their moments, they all get their wins, and then like I said, you've still got all the stuff going on outside of the plane as well.
I was going to say there's one person who doesn't get the win.
Okay, so Joe Taslim drives underneath the wing, the engine of a car, and gets blown away.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Mia and Brian on one wing trying to hold it down with a grappling hook, Roman and Tej on another wing.
Yeah.
And Giselle and Han are on another part of the plane trying to hanker it down, but they're being lifted up way too high. And Giselle's hanging up with your life.
Before Mia and Brian have come to help with the wing, they've had to go back and take out the blonde woman first.
Oh, gosh.
Because like I said, Brian has been waiting all movie to get one of those ramp cars again. And this time he does a cool handbrake turn so that she the ramp goes through the back of the car, so the car lands flat, but she doesn't see the barrier that's just there in the runway. But it's always been there on the runway, and it's fine. And she's gone as well.
She's gone. Oh, I think. But Giselle's hanging on.
Yeah.
Han's going, I got you. And then some guy pops up behind him.
And she says, psych.
She lets go and takes out her gun and starts shooting.
It's a pretty cool moment, but it's like...
completely fruitless.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the worst way to go. You couldn't even kill the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy should have died, right?
Yeah, look, she's former Mossad. She should know this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good moment in the moment for Han and Giselle.
Yeah.
That just pure selflessness of the potential for you about to die means I'm willing to give my life just to stop that happening. Yeah. But it also does feel like a real moment of franchise convenience that they know they're going to be doing the Tokyo Drift bit. They know Han needs to be moody and sad in Tokyo at that point, and they know that probably they don't have Gal Gadot back for the next movie, so it has to happen. I kind of wish that they'd given Giselle and Han more to do in this movie. I think my biggest complaint, because it's not a fridging, because it's almost like a reverse engineered fridging.
Sure. Yeah.
Han was already moody, and Giselle has been introduced by this point, and yeah, but there's something about the moment works, but you wish they didn't have to do it, I think. But like I said, I'm convinced that they would, because all you see is her drop. Yeah. Right? All you see is a drop. You don't see her die. No. There is, I would say, a 99% chance that Giselle at least cameos in this franchise again before it's all said. Oh, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe even in Fast 9. Because if you bring in
we don't know. Only China knows, and they've made it to 6 billion now. So Han turns around and beats the shit out of this guy and throws him in the engine. He just throws the guy in the engine and blows the engine up with him.
Yep, that's great. That's
which
really
is like
great.
that's cathartic.
And then that starts the trouble with the plane. That means it's not going to be able to take off.
Yeah.
And so it goes from we need to stop the plane taking off to shit, we need to get off of the plane. Except, good old Dom he's not forgotten about the original mission, and he's got the thing. It's that thing, isn't there?
It's the computer chip in the briefcase, the small tiny briefcase, the comically small briefcase.
Glad someone hasn't forgotten about it.
Because Shaw's like, I'll get in this car, and Dom's like, oh, I like cars, so I'll get in here too. Oh, we're in the same car together. Oops, and they have a fight because they know that Luke Evans can't really fight with Vin Diesel because it would look too weird. I mean, it's not that Luke Evans isn't buff. It's just that when you see Vin Diesel and you see Owen Shaw, they're just two different kinds of weird.
Yeah.
Like two different kinds of action person. So they know a small fight here, and then, hey, let's just crash a car into a barrier in a plane.
And there he goes.
And then, the plane crashes. Dom drives through the plane, I guess, a little bit in the middle of the crash, but then still doesn't get out of it enough, and the family just stop and stare.
The moment where he drives through the front of the plane is just absurd brilliance.
And then he just gets out of that car, obviously, and just walks through the flames.
Yep.
And all happening conveniently right at the end of the runway.
Yeah, no, they were seconds away from the end of the runway. Whoa. After all those miles.
My God.
The family are back together, except Mia goes, where's Giselle?
Where is Giselle?
So Brian gives Han a nice hug.
Yeah.
And then name your price, Dom, for that thingamajig that no one cares about.
Yeah. Do you have the number?
1327.
1327.
That's a small amount of dollar. Casa Toretto! We're back in Los Angeles!
Yay!
We're finally home.
We're having a barbecue.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, then they talk about the garage. That's where Jack's going to build a car with his daddy.
Yep.
Like Vin did. Like Dom and his daddy built a car.
Yep.
Is it going to be a muscle? Is it going to be an import? Who knows? Roman and Tej on the grill.
Yep.
Hobbs and Elena come by. You're free.
I
Elena
like
and
the
Letty hang out with each other.
I like the letter Elena moment, which it feels like just something that the movie has to do, because if you've got Michelle Rodriguez back, you have to do I like the understanding between those characters to go, yeah, we both get it.
I've got 4 pieces of trivia left, right? And 3 are to do with the barbecue. Okay? So when Hobbs arrives at the barbecue, Roman remarks that they better hide the baby oil, to which Hobbs replies, "You better hide that big ass foreheads." Hobbs's line was improvised by Dwayne Johnson, so Ludacris spitting out his drink and Tyrese Gibson being at a loss for words are both spontaneous, genuine reactions. Okay?
I also love that Tyrese's reaction to that is to pat the top of his head.
My next one is that during the scene where Hobbs and Roman exchange jabs at the barbecue and Ted spits out his drink in laughter, you can see a bottle of Conjure cognac on the table, presumably the same as what is in this glass. Conjure cognac is an alcoholic beverage that Ludacris Bridges, the actor who plays Tej Parker, actually co-owns.
Yeah, it'd be like if one of those Wayne tequilas pops up. Or a Dan Aykroyd Crystal Skull.
And my last bit of trivia for this scene, and I swear to God, this is I'm reading these verbatim.
Of course.
At the end, when Roman, Tyrese Gibson, sees Hobbs walking up the driveway, he says to Mia, "You better hide your baby oil." Hobbs's quick response, brackets, "You better hide that big ass forehead," wasn't scripted and improvised by Dwayne Johnson that resulted in Ludacris spitting out his drink and laughing was a genuine reaction.
I'm glad they put various.
So that
it's a Rashomon thing. Everyone's got their own remembrances of what actually happened.
Yeah.
Did the spit come out first, or did the accounts being improvised come out first? Who knows?
Well, here's the thing: it says it wasn't scripted and improvised, so it wasn't scripted and it wasn't improvised. It just wasn't.
It just existed. It's an eternal thing.
Piece of trivia.
It was always there. It's kind of like the stars.
I just love that there's 3 pieces of trivia for that one, those 2 lines.
And somehow, even after hearing all of that confusing information, it's not the most baffling thing that happens in this scene.
You want to talk about the squaring up to one another part?
I still can't. Like even knowing the Rock Vin Diesel stuff, like, and that maybe they didn't film it together. Maybe, I don't know. But
okay. So let's talk about the shot real quick. That's the 2 of them. They're kind of meant to be eye to eye, face to face.
Yeah, and it starts off with a shot of them eye to eye, face to face, except it doesn't look like they're looking each other in the eye. It looks something is off, and then you cut to a shot where Vin is massive and The Rock is tiny, and then you cut to a reverse shot where the opposite is true, when one of them takes a step forward and it makes them look even smaller, and you're like, well, that has to be intentional because it's so absurd.
And then do you notice the shot as after Hobbs goes until next time? There's a shot of them far from another perspective, and they're not standing next to each other. They are standing side by side. Then it's just 2 alpha males not willing to look each other in the eyes. It's almost like them whispering in each other's ears, but from far away.
It's so weird, and I will never be able to understand the choices that were made there. But I don't hate it because it is like it is just this weird wrinkle to end this movie on.
But speaking of ending this movie, Roman grabs a bite to eat a little too early, which means he has to say grace.
Yeah, those are the rules. House rules.
So he gives thanks to everything, and most importantly, as we look over Los Angeles, the family together, fully, except for Giselle.
No look after Giselle. Yeah. No mention of Giselle when praying to God.
Yeah, I again, that felt like a mistake to me.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't talk about Nico, looking after Nico from last film, did they?
Yeah.
And Dom has eyes on Nico now, so Dom doesn't have eyes on Giselle. I guess no one cares about Giselle.
Yeah.
But thank you for fast cars.
Yes. Don't forget about the fast cars.
Thank you for fast cars. And that's the end of the film. That's the end of the film. It comes up with where, professional drivers don't do any of these stunts, blah, blah, blah. And that's the end of the film, right?
Wow.
What? What?
Well, then we flash back to Tokyo, or flash forward to Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo, that's a couple of months in advance, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And we see Hans' horrific crash, stuck in the car, fire all around him, and someone gets out of the car that crashes into Hans. And who is it? Well,
guy. Tom Hollander?
Well, this is my last piece of trivia, because if it was going to be the other guy that was considered to play Owen Shaw, it would have been David Tennant stepping out of the car.
Oh, God, that would have been shite.
It would have been not a reveal.
Jason Statham and David Tennant were at different points considered to play Owen Shaw. Apparently, those were the only two. Apparently, that's what.
I lost my shit at this moment.
Yeah.
Same. This was a huge moment in the screening. Everyone just kind of exploded.
Yeah.
Dominic Toretto, you don't know me. It's not. It's like I say. It's not just the Statham of it. The Statham of it's great. It's the franchise finally coming back full circle and finally making it back into the present, I guess. And then the fact that they got there and actually did make the next thing seem really exciting. Yeah, I love that. I don't think Statham in Fast. My favourites are 5 and 6. I know a lot of people have a time for 7. I don't think the promise of Statham is I don't think Statham is as good as the promise of Statham in this franchise. But this moment still feels just perfect to me.
Yeah.
Furious 7 is quite overloaded, but there are reasons.
Yeah.
But no, for Furious 6 just going off and being like, boom, and that's how we do the franchise now. Do you get it? This is a bold statement to leave to another director.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's coming back. I'm sad. I'm sad in a way that Justin Lin's career hasn't been, filled with so much exciting stuff that he hasn't needed to come back. But also the idea of more Justin Lin Fast and Furious is so exciting to me.
I agree. I mean, It's just look. I'll stand to death. I think his Star Trek is their best Star Trek.
I think
people don't like it.
I think it just feels slight, and it doesn't feel like it almost doesn't feel like it's got the budget that a big movie like that needs. It just feels smaller, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because that's what the Star Trek franchise has been at various times. But it's certainly I like it. I think it's a good movie. But his career between Fast 6 in 2013 and Fast 9 in 2021 is basically, that's the only film he directed, but he was attached to just about everything.
Sure.
I'm glad he dodged Space Jam. I think of the 2 movies he could have been directing this year, I'm much happier it's a Fast movie.
You don't think he'd handle the Serververse well?
I don't think anyone could handle the Serververse.
Well, I think Algae Rhythm can.
Pretending that movie doesn't exist. I was quite excited about the idea of a LeBron Space Jam, and then
after we finish with Fast Fridays, we'll be doing our build up with Space Jam Sundays. We're going to watch every Space Jam film in the franchise before the next one comes out, so that will be 1 week. And we will have the Bare Naked Ladies with us for that purpose.
Oh yeah.
So Joe, in the back of Furious 6, how do you feel about the whole film, the whole franchise, and where we're leading down the road?
Listen, like I said, I think this is my favorite. I almost feel like the franchise builds up and peaks at 5 and 6, and has been kind of trickling back down again. But I am so excited for Fast 9. That trailer, coupled with Justin Lin directing, and like I said, I just don't. it's tricky. I don't think you can't ever have the perfect team again like you have in Fast and Furious 6. This is, for me, this is peak family.
It feels like Fast 9 is going to be the one that brings cinema back. Like, everyone was talking about Tenet last year, and it didn't really do
the
anything.
movies.
Yeah, the movies. I saw a tweet the other day saying the estimates for it's going to take 50 million in opening weekend, which is good for post-COVID. And it feels like this is the one that's going to bounce the business back.
Yeah, and because it plays internationally as a franchise as well, that seems crucial.
Yeah.
And because it's one of these big blockbusters that's not simultaneously debuting on a streaming service, it feels like it's the first big one that's not doing.
Yeah.
Why is it not going straight to Peacock? Johnny, your thoughts as we wrap up?
I mean, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because all I remembered about this one was the super long runway. And I'd forgotten about certain things and moments, and Giselle. It was more entertaining than I expected going into this. I see when we started this whole thing, I think Fast 5 and Furious 7, is that what we were calling it?
Yep.
Were the main ones. With Furious 7, I think I recall being my favourite. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how Furious 7 works next week. But yeah, I've just been completely kind of fascinated by this whole franchise, revisiting it again with you.
Fascinated and furious-nated?
Yes. Exactly. And I can't believe we've only got a few more films and then it's over.
Yeah, and because they've decided to push the release date a couple of weeks ahead, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be able to go and watch it, I believe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's awkward timing, but we'll just sneak out just before we go. Joe, anything to plug while you're here?
I present a podcast called Cinematic Universe. We look at comic book movie and superhero movie adaptations, and we look at the comics behind them as well. So you can find that on Twitter at @cine_verse. That's where we pod.
Excellent. John?
John?
Yeah, I'm calling you by your adult name for one moment. Do you have anything proper to promote?
Not really. You can find me on Twitter at movie_mad, Letterboxd at #moviemad, Instagram at movie_mad. That's about it. You can find me here every Friday at backstage at the Bluebird on Fridays, and on Fast Fridays, and Wednesdays Movie Mad, Movie Mad podcast.
Oh yeah, what film are we doing this coming week?
I can't remember.
Yes, you can. I think you'll find it is the film that we're all looking forward to doing this coming week.
This is our first film sat together in over a year.
Oh,
yeah, year and what? 15 months?
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I can't wait to sit next to you again. We're gonna we're gonna
watch it. Yeah. So Wednesday we're watching In the Heights.
Yep. We're gonna have some Piragua and sing along to In the Heights and scream Benny whenever he turns up on screen.
Benny. I'm on Twitter at Ethan Runt. Letterboxd, I guess. Letterboxd.com/Ethan Runt. That's not important, but there's that. And nothing else going on. But hey, next week, join the family for Furious 7. Vroom vroom, everybody.
Vroom vroom.
Have a good week.